Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today what I want to talk about may almost sound like an oxymoron, and this is an entry-level FP Journe watch. And as you may or may not know, FP Journe has won more top Grand Prix prizes than any other watchmaker. Now here's a guy who is cranking out less than 900 watches a year, and yet no company has won as many Aiguille d'Or as FP Journe. He's won 3. I think he's won 7 in all, but even Vacheron Constantin and Patek Philippe, they've only won 2. There's some other ones who have won 2. Now, I was talking with a former judge, a former Grand Prix judge, and he said that FP Journe is, there aren't any watchmakers better than FP Journe. It doesn't mean there aren't several, or some at least, who are as good, but one of the things about FP Journe watches is that they're one of the few that you can, especially of your contemporary grandmaster watchmakers, that we can get our hands on. If you, Carry Vout and Lanons are wonderful watches, but they're around 70, 80, 90, over $100,000. The same is true with Roger Smith, and if you could find him, with Philippe Dufour. So what I want to do is saying, okay, if let's say you really want to go to one of these exceptional horology watches, and what might be the entry point? Now, I have on my FP Journe Chronomètre Souverain, and it is the entry point that I'm going to talk about for a mechanical watch with FP Journe. There's some, he has some that are quartz, a couple quartz ones that are really amazing quartz watches. But for mechanical watches, I want to start with this. There's some other ones too, made of aluminum, and the Octasport. I just want to look at this one. One of the first watches he made. Let me quote something that was written about it. It says the Chronomètre Souverain is a concentrate of elements that define Francois-Paul Journe's unique approach to precision watchmaking, as well as his aesthetic sensibilities. Okay, so when the watch you're talking about, saying, look, this is, it's like buying a Picasso. Here you have a watchmaker, a grandmaster watchmaker who's still alive, who's making these, and there aren't many that at least anywhere near affordable. Now, these are barely affordable, but they're at least in the realm. So let's take a look at them and what they are. And we're going to start off with what I'll call the AD prices. And there are 3 basic chronomètre souverains. The first one, and by far the most popular one, is the Chronomètre Blue. It's made of tantalum, and it's $22,800. The second Chronomètre Souverain is one in gold, red gold, and they also have them in white gold. This one sells for $31,600. And finally, there's the Chronomètre Souverain in platinum, and it sells new for $35,400. That's what this one is. I didn't buy it new, and I didn't pay that much for it. Now, one of the things that they all have in common, you may notice that the Chronomètre Souverain, the gold and platinum one, have a power reserve indicator. That's the Chronomètre Blue doesn't. I'm not sure why, but it doesn't. Okay, otherwise they're the same. Now, all of the one we're going to talk about, run on the caliber 1304. And this is the mechanical movement, and it's it's in gold. He decided that, well, I'm going to make all the plates and bridges out of gold, and he did. And that's a nice thing. It's not necessary. It's not going to make the watch run any better, but it's just nice to have that out of gold. Okay, let's take a look at some examples of these watches. These are some folks. I asked if they could take a picture of their Chronomet Vein or their Chrononet Blue, and we could show them. This one is from Jesse Anderson, and he's got I like the color, that sort of that light tan strap on that. That's a great color. The one that they have, FP Journe has the bands for them, and it's called Cognac. It's a wonderful color for it. It works well on this one too. Okay, this one is Rick Remaker's red gold. I really like the red gold. I just think it's gorgeous. I'm much more into red gold than I am into, well, actually yellow gold is my favorite, but this red gold one I really like a lot. Okay, and here's mine. This is my platinum one. And I like it a lot too. It's a nice watch. If it were made out of steel, I couldn't tell the difference, or white gold. Okay, and finally, here's another one in the blue. This is Howard Lichtig's, excuse me, Chronomet Blue. This watch now, the interesting thing about the blue is, if you go to the pre-owned market, you go to someplace like Chrono 24, at the very bottom, you're going to find the Chronomet Souverains, and right around $20,000. There's about any way you cut it. The entry price is $20,000. That's a lot of money. But I was thinking about it. Well, here are these guys. He's got 3 or 4 Rolexes. Yeah, I think well, that's about 3 Datejust. That's another way to look at it. But it is expensive, and there are no two ways about it. And if you're taking a look at this and saying, forget about it, that's quite understandable. But if you're saying, look, it would be nice to have an original when somebody that is anywhere near affordable. So anyhow, this one, the interesting thing is that from the AD, the least expensive is the Tantalum Chronomet Blue. Yet on the pre-owned market, it's the most expensive. In other words, you're better off buying a new one at an AD than going to the used market almost, because they're extremely popular, and you can find a platinum one. The average price is around 25, right around there, and on the red gold, about 23, 22, 23, right in there. Those would be the average prices you're going to find. The bottom price you'll find is right around 20. I saw one for $19,999, something like that, but really $20,000, and it's going to be for probably one of the gold ones. Okay, the blue, no, they probably start around 26, 27,000, whereas new you can get them for 22. This is one of those funny kind of things. All right, now there's another type of watch that they have, and they're called the boutique editions, and I don't know why they do this, but they do. So they have these special limited editions. Now, when you got a company making 900 watches, or less than 900 watches a year, they're all pretty limited. But these will make like 10 or so of each model, and only sell them through boutiques. And they're really cool. The one at the bottom is called the Havana, and they have the biblos is a lower right-hand corner, And some of the one on the upper right is has a mother of pearl background. The two black ones are very formal. I love the one with the black face and the gold numbering on it. Now these can get pricey, I'll put it that way. But you can find some really good buys on the pre-owned market. Just like it's the hard ones to find are the ones the Coronet Blues with the tantalum case as opposed to gold or some of the more expensive metals. All right, here is Art Leyenberger's Boutique Chronomet Souverain. It's a beautiful watch, and I don't know too many people who have the boutique bottles, but here are a couple. Now, Matthew McCabe has a Byblos Blue, and the Byblos Blue has a tantalum case, and it is just a gorgeous watch. This is really something. This next one now is actually not sold by F.P. Journe, but rather by Barbier-Mueller, and it's called the Barbier-Mueller Mosaïque. And it has the same 1304 caliber that this one has and the other ones we've looked at. But my God, that thing is it's just amazing. The front and the back, and on the inside it has a little thing that opens up, and these things are all done by, and they're very expensive. Now the final ones, there are other ones that are, I'll call, they're special editions, but they're special editions for other reasons. The Holland & Holland is actually a stainless steel version, and it doesn't have small seconds, and it doesn't have a power reserve indicator, just sort of plain minutes and hours. And the dial has this gunmetal from Holland & Holland. I think Holland & Holland makes shotguns and other kinds of things. Sort of an interesting side note. F.P. Journe has a big collection of what are called gunmetal watches, and these are watches that are made out of gunmetal. And I think this is his sort of offering up to that. And it's a beautiful, just a gorgeous watch. They sell for, like, I think they're $46,000, something like that. Really amazing. This other one is simply Boutique Anniversary. It's the Chronomet Souverain Boutique Anniversary. And again, it's I'm not even sure whether that is. It's probably tantalum. It could be titanium. I'm not sure. I don't think it's platinum. I'm pretty sure it's not platinum or white gold. Anyhow, there are a couple other ones. So you have, when we're talking about the Chronomet Souverain, you're really talking about the caliber 1304 and as a base for that. Okay, well, I have an opening, an unboxing, we'll say. So let's take a look at that unboxing. Then I want to have some final words on the F.P. Journe Chronomet Souverain. Well, this is going to be a very big unboxing. This is a very big watch here I got. So let me start with these. We've had dry weather for the last several weeks, and as soon as FedEx shows up, we had a downpour. That's okay. Take this out of here, put this away. So now let's see what this watch is all about. Alright, and popcorn, which I will have to. take a look at my new watch. Holy smoke. Look at the lugs on this thing. And there it is. Now I have two FP Journes, and I'll get this up on the wall and have some fun. Well, I got the biggest chronomet surveying I could find, and it matches my watch, and now I can look up there, and it's up there on the wall above this Mucha print that I got in at the Alphonse Mucha Museum in Prague. And it's just sort of a fun thing to have. Now, one of the things that it's why would you get something like this? Who needs a watch like this? Who needs a $20,000 watch? Nobody. Nobody needs a $20,000 watch, but nobody needs a $5,000 watch, or even a $1,000 watch for that matter. But it's in the same way that if my poster that I have is a print of a Mucha, but that original, if I have an original Mucha, that's going to be quite dear. And I suppose it's getting close to the artist, so to speak. And FP Journe is in a category with a very few others. And I mean, you have your Patek Philippe, you have your Longo and Sonda, and they're fine. Those are great watches, but they're on a different level than your FP Journes, your Carrier and Lonans, your Roger Smith, Philippe Dufour's, Andre Strayer, Jean-Marc Wiederrecht. All of these are contemporary people that we have with us today. I mean, it would be like during Breguet's time to have one that he made, or El Leroy, or one of the truly great early watchmakers. And like I said, this is probably the most affordable one that we can find. And if you're that kind of collector, this is something that I can recommend as being a wonderful experience. Okay, well, naturally, I'd like to hear your opinion, and I didn't want to bring up this, well, this one's better than this, or this one's better than that, but rather the whole idea of having something with the hand of the artist, so to speak. I mean, it's like getting an original Picasso. Any of us can get a print, and those are nice too. But just sort of get your your opinion. Well, this is crazy, but you're sitting there wearing a $7,000 watch of some other brand, and you think 20,000 is crazy. I think 100,000 is crazy, but to someone with a great deal of resources, that's nothing. So let's hear your opinion. Be very interested to hear what you have to say. And then on Sunday, there will be another collection review. So until then, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection.